Wildcats got to be careful here tonight.
That's a great point, and I think the timing of that is important for Bill Snyder as he just talked to his team at halftime and getting their attention about the importance of this second half.
So Lockett is stopped at the 15. We check in down below with Lisa Salter.
Hey guys, well, I just talked to Bill Snyder, and he said that, in that first half they just made the kind of mistakes that disciplined teams do not make. He said, I'm proud that our guys are still in there, and I told him that I'm proud of that. He said, but we're still making the kind of mistakes that get you beat. And I said, hey, Coach, even after you guys put 24 points on the board and seem to turn things around, he said, yeah, we're still making these mental mistakes. And I've told our guys that if we do that, we are going to get beat. We've probably given them 21 points, he told me. Guys?
Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, he's a stickler for details, always has been. Bill Snyder, one of the great coaching jobs of all time up in Manhattan. And here's the running back, Hubert. And Lewis makes the stop in our Pacific Life game summary here tonight. And we check in on some of the first half numbers. We've already told you the turnovers, and take a look at the points. We've had 31 of our points scored off turnovers.
And the bottom line there, average starting field position for Oklahoma State near midfield, and Kansas State's been put back a little bit deeper in their own territory, which is tougher for their style of offense.
And here they are, Herbie, coming out from their own 16-yard line right now on second down. Klein fires in underneath. Harper slips a tackle. And he's out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
Lisa Salter's talking about what Bill Snyder had mentioned, and then these are the things that I think we feel that it's very, very important for them to be able to be competitive tonight. The turnover margin, which they've had an advantage, special teams, field position, which hasn't gone their way, limiting the big plays, and third down defense.
So Tremaine Thompson has been very active for them. He's cut 4 for 58 yards. He's down toward the bottom of your screen, and there's Harper, and he's in deep trouble. Harper is in deep trouble, and he is run out of bounds at the 27. The pressure was brought by Lewis.
It's interesting, Bill Snyder, think about what he's done for the Kansas State program, coming back 3 years after retiring, and boy, here they are again. I think the big win against Miami, Brent, early in the year on the road, when nobody really knew what to expect from this year's Kansas State team, the way they're able to win that game, I think really gave them confidence as they continue to try to move through this year.
Harper and Lockett will go off to Klein's left. Thompson comes off to the right. Klein gets time and comes in short underneath, and that's Travis Tannehill. We haven't called his name very often tonight. He's a junior from Overland Park, Kansas, and the big tight end makes the catch.
Bill Snyder's been there a long time, and he stepped away, but tonight, 2011, see what that says? Holiday Bowl. Pacific Life. That's going back a few years. Maybe that's the good luck parka that he pulled out tonight.
So Hubert is the running back on this 3rd and 6 for Klein. And the Wildcats, they go trips to the left. And they close the tight end down to the right. Tannehill. Klein, flush, going to be sacked at the 23-yard line by Caleb Levy.
But I think there's some confusion, and you can see just at the last second there, he tried to move Hubert over here. The confusion comes right here because the linebacker and the defensive end end up crossing. And you see the left guard Pitts steps down to pick it up, but the running back Hubert was confused on who he was able to pick up, and it brought a man free. An easy play for Oklahoma State's defense.
And Herbie Blackmon is back. And they rushed that punt, and they almost got a piece of it. Blackmon picks it up on the bounce, and he's to the 42-yard line. And that's where the Cowboys will have their first possession here of the second half, as Brandon Whedon here tonight, 20 of 27, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, typical Whedon game, but 2 critical interceptions.
Yeah, just to put it in perspective, they have 10 turnovers on the year. Coming into tonight's game, 3 turnovers in the first half alone. Has a lot to do with why we're sitting at a 27-24 game here to start this second half.
So Whedon, one-time baseball player drafted by the New York Yankees, You're asking him, is his wife big football fan? He said, tell you the truth, she's a real baseball fan. She loved that 6th game of the World Series that they watched together, and didn't everybody, as Randle gets the first call here, and Lamar in there to make the stop. As you take a look back at his days as a pitcher for the New York Yankees, he was a 2nd-round draft choice, and then he had an arm injury, and so that forced him out of baseball. He's already been offered a scholarship here in football, and he decided to take him up on it. And here he is, firing complete. And Tracy Moore working the middle makes another grab. He's been his most active receiver here tonight. Got a 7, making 8 balls now for 139 yards.
You know, Justin Blackmon gets a lot of attention. Moore is a guy that he's going to tonight. So far, we've not seen Josh Cooper. He's not played at all tonight.
Oh, there's that flash end around with Josh Stewart, the freshman, and he is out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Malone makes a stop. This play has to be timed perfectly, and it was.
Josh Stewart, who's a true freshman out of Denton, Texas, has the speed to be able to execute that.
Now the power run, first down for Randle, and Randle is down to the 31-yard line, and Garrett making a stop. But once we start naming the defensive backs, where we can make those tackles, that means they're getting to the 2nd level all of a sudden.
Yeah, you love to see the way they attack out on the perimeter with the dash, as you said, kind of a jet sweep. They get back into the middle, and then they'll start to attack throwing the football vertically as well.
Play action fake. Whedon fires, and going to be thrown out of bounds at around the 15-yard line. Is that freshman you talked about, Stewart?
Yeah, and watch the accuracy. He's in rhythm here. He steps and makes a perfect throw to the freshman Stewart, who's been involved here for 2 of the last 3 plays. He's got great speed and gaining more experience. Again, Hubert Ainium is out. He's not able to play. And again, Josh Cooper not playing tonight. Others have had to step up, and they're willing to do it and able to do it.
There's that slip screen to Randle. Touchdown, Oklahoma State. That's the 3rd touchdown pass of the night for Brandon Whedon.
Boy, they did such a good job for the first series here to start the 2nd half of mixing up the play calling. Todd Monken went back to the drawing board there at halftime, and they mixed it up. They gave a lot of different looks with their formations. They attacked out wide. They attacked up the middle, play action, about everything you can do, and they marched right down the field, 6 plays and 62 yards for the touchdown.
So Oklahoma State regains a 10-point lead. You see, he flips it out. There's Blackmon blocking. The NFL will love to see that. And it's touchdown, Cowboys. Well, here in Stillwater, Oklahoma, we continue Dr. Pepper's road to the championship, and the number 3 team in the nation regains a 10-point lead after giving up 24 unanswered points, and now it's the Wildcats' turn to see if they can bounce back in this game. Lockett has been coming out of his own end zone here. I don't think he's going to get a shot at that one.
This touchdown by Oklahoma State. Garrett, the corner, blitzes and leaves 2 guys out there for 2 to block. Randle goes in motion. Whedon gets it out to him quickly. And there's Charlie Moore with a nice block. And also Justin Blackmon, who's the All-American, the go-to receiver. He's showing he's going to get downfield, get in position there. Gets away with maybe a little bit of hold there with the left hand, but opens it up there for the touchdown there. And Randle is so tough out of the backfield catching the ball, but well-designed play and perfect execution on the entire drive by Oklahoma State.
Complete. And out of bounds at the 26-yard line is Thompson.
1st and 10, passing the football. Klein has had most of his success tonight throwing the ball on 1st and 10. We've talked all night about Oklahoma State is forcing the Kansas State offense to throw, to be able to move the ball. They've had a double reverse and some passes that have opened up some things in their running game.
Hubert's the running back on this 2nd and 3. throws for the first down. And Lockett is out of bounds here on the near sideline at the 34-yard line. Tyler Lockett.
Brown, I'm sorry. I was going to say that most of Klein's passes are the short to intermediate range. So far tonight, he's 15 of 22 for 140 yards, but he's been effective, and he's done enough to make the Cowboys have to respect that.
Play action, moves the pocket to the left, and throws it away down that left sideline.
Because what's happening is the defense is collapsing towards the line of scrimmage, and eventually there was a little mix-up there between Harper and Klein, but eventually you got to take your shots, and whether that's a reverse or whether it's a double move, something periodically you've got to try to get the ball thrown vertically, because the safeties and the corners, everybody, they're attacking the line of scrimmage for the shorter passes and for the running game.
Second down and 10 for Klein and the Wildcats. Quick throw, and they got a first down, and there is Andre McDonald. You know what Coach Young said about this big fella, 6'8"? He's just a Big Mac shy of about 350. Take a look at him.
You can't miss it. 6'8", 275, and he has a crease somehow at his size. He got wide of the linebackers and in between the safeties, and again, Klein in rhythm there. And again, his footwork isn't always perfect, but that time he found his man and made the throw.
So here's the Wildcat now for the fourth time. They scored a touchdown off of it. Angelo Pease looks for the left, comes behind Paulson, still struggling, and crosses midfield.
That was a little sloppy, a little bit too slow developing. They've had some success tonight with that Wildcat formation. That one just took a little bit too long, and Oklahoma State's fast enough on defense where they can get in position there and chase that down. If you're going to go with that, and he's not much of a threat throwing the football, you've got to find a crease and get upfield in a hurry.
Second down and 8, and Hubert alongside Klein. There's Lockett. Came back and took the handoff. And Lockett for the first down, breaks free, 35-30. And he is down to the 26-yard line. Martin making the stop.
Watch the motion by the quarterback, a little pump fake, just trying to get the defense out of position, trying to get them to be eager, which they've been all night. And I'm telling you, the misdirection and the play-action passes have opened things up. And then how about the creativity and the quickness by Tyler Lockett, the freshman in the open field?
A 23-yard gain. He's carried 3 times for 84 yards. He had a 60-yard run on a reverse back in the first half. A good drive going here for the Wildcats. Klein keeping it all the way on a quarterback run. As we check in for an update, here's Robert Flores in the studio.
All right, Brent, AT&T All-America Player of the Week update. How about Monty Ball topping 200 yards, rushing, and scoring 3 times for Wisconsin. Their blowout win over Purdue, 62-17. 24 touchdowns this season, most in the country. You can text VOTE to 55862. Brent, by the way, Alabama leading LSU 6-3.
So that field goal battle continues there, Robert, and here it's 34-24, a 10-point lead, but Wildcats are on the move here again.
Yeah, late hit there on Colin Klein, 15 yards, down now to the 10-yard line after the run.
So they will take it first and goal from the 10. There's movement, and now it's first and 15. That is costly when you get down there. Big Clyde Offner.
Ball start. Offense. Number 75. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And while we were away, the previous play where Klein picked up some pretty good yards, towards the end of the play there, Ryan Robinson just gets on top of him and gets a hold of that face mask. And that's what the officials ended up calling. There's a little bit of jaw in there towards the end of that play, too.
And now the penalty moves the Wildcats back to the 15-yard line. Keeping it all the way. Picked up a yard. Blackmon making the stop.
Just to show you how important penalties are in that area, Kansas State is 3rd in the nation in goal-to-go situations. 95% of the time they're at first and goal to go. They have scored 19 of 20 times and scored touchdowns. And a lot of it's been because of Klein running the option. You get a false start, that's a whole different thing and a whole different challenge for this offense.
Wilson alongside as a protector. He's number 37. He's the blocking fullback there. Getting on the same page with the quarterback. Now gets over to the left and they have to burn a timeout. They were down to 1 second on the play clock. Klein saw it. They burn a timeout. Guess who's not happy about that? We'll be right back. Wildcats threatening. State has turned it over 3 times, resulting in 17 points. K-State twice for 14. The Wildcats are threatening here again with 5:55 remaining in the 3rd quarter. They are down at the Cowboys' 14-yard line. Klein back in the gun alone. Checks the sideline. 5 receivers are out on this 2nd and goal. Drops it off. Lockett. Touchdown as he dives across. The freshman from Tulsa.
Brent, this is a huge play and an opportunistic move here by Lockett. We'll see if he's going to be okay. But Markel Martin, the safety, was manned up with him, and he fell down in man-to-man coverage. Klein finds him, and it's a touchdown.
And now on is Anthony Cantelli for the extra point. And Kansas State bounces back again. They trail it by 3. It'll be the Cowboys' turn when you come back. Well, a reminder that ABC Tuesday, the new night for laughs. Tuesday's #1 new comedy, Last Man Standing. Tim Allen is a man among women. A lot of women. Raises 3 daughters. Good luck with that. Last Man Standing, all new Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on ABC. And here, Oklahoma State still ahead, but only by 3 with 5:48 to go in the 3rd quarter. They took it short to keep it away from the dangerous return man. And Herschel Sims, the freshman, is down at the 35.
Well, Brett, this is the matchup that you want on the outside. You have a receiver moving like this. Watch number 10. He's a safety trying to stay with the receiver. He slips down trying to stay with the quicker receiver. One-on-one coverage, man-to-man. Good job of Klein finding it. And look behind Klein. Blackmon comes so close to getting the pressure, knocking that ball away and preventing the touchdown. So they hold up just long enough to give Klein the time, and he finds the one-on-one matchup for the touchdown.
Blackmon with 8 catches for 78 yards as Oklahoma State opens with a Randle run to the 40-yard line on 1st down. Hartman making the stop for the Wildcats.
It's like we have Tyson Hartman, the safety who had a big interception earlier in the game, has gone down. He's been really a big part of this team, 4-year starter.
So he will come to the sideline for at least a play. The other pick tonight was Alan Chapman. And Coach Snyder is coming out to see his injured safety. You know, you think about Bill Snyder and you think about all the fellas who have worked under him and how they have moved on to great success around the country. And the Snyder coaching tree just continued from where the Hayden Fry coaching tree left off. Bill, of course, was a longtime offensive coordinator at Iowa. Now we have Bob Stoops down at Oklahoma. He was in the system with Bill. Brett Bielema up at Wisconsin. Jim Leavitt was down South Florida. Mark Mangino, the last successful coach at Kansas. And Mike Stoops, until recently, of course, was the Arizona head coach. And all of these fellas learned the art of hard work, good recruiting, sticking with it. Details from that man right there, Bill Snyder. Pearson has checked into the game, the backup safety right now.
He better hold on to his hat facing Justin Blackmon and Brandon Whedon.
So Whedon underneath was all alone, and they've got an easy first down with Colton Choate. And that's his first catch of the night. He's the brother of the backup quarterback there, Clint Choate.
Well, they're really trying to mix it up and get as many different receivers involved in this attack as they can. It is definitely not just Justin Blackmon and Tracy Moore.
K-State rushes 4, and speaking to Mr. Blackmon early on cue. We are back for the fourth quarter as the Dr. Pepper road to the championships continues here with the number 3 team in the nation clinging to a 3-point lead. Numbers 1 and 2 tied at 6 as they go into the fourth quarter over in Tuscaloosa. The Big 12 as a conference, according to the computers, is number 1, and the SEC closely behind him. And of course the SEC features Alabama and LSU, the 2 most highly rated teams in the country. So we'll see what they've got here on 1st and 10. Ball across the 30-yard line for Brandon Whedon and the Cowboys. Quick pitch, and Ty Moore, Tracy Moore, the receiver, number 87, been active here tonight.
Well, he has had a career night. 9 receptions, 146 yards. Is that inside receiver? He's got good size, 6'1", 233 pounds. And they get the ball to him in a hurry. He's able to fight off Arthur Brown there and get some big yards.
Second down and 3. Whedon fires. Dropped at the 6-yard line. Moore couldn't hang on that time.
What's happening with a lot of these underneath routes is the linebackers are occupied. They see these receivers, there's so many of them crossing in front of them on these scissors routes that the linebackers are stepping up. And we've seen it all night. Whedon's had some success throwing right behind the 2 linebackers into the middle of the defense.
You're fired to Randle. And he is down at the 23-yard line, and great defensive recognition by David Garrett.
That is a big-time play by David Garrett. He is, tell you what, if you like undersized guys that play with everything, he fights off a block here and makes a play against a physical ball carrier in Joseph Randle. Big-time play by Garrett, the senior.
So it is 4th down for Klein Sharp. Made his 2 field goal attempts for the 19 and the 29, and now this is longest of the night. Here comes a 40-yarder. Trying to make it 3 of 3. Curls it right in beautifully. It's now a 6-point lead. Well, we welcome you back to Stillwater as we take a look at the Pacific Life game summary here, Herbie.
Well, it's been an interesting game that's gone back and forth. Oklahoma State jumped out, but they started to make some mistakes, and it gave Kansas State some life. They put 24 points up at the half, and now they're still within 6. It's kind of a game that, if you're a Kansas State fan, this is about what you were hoping for, to just kind of scratch and claw, look up in the fourth quarter and find that you're within a touchdown.
So Sharp will kick it away, and they try to keep it out of Lockett's hands here. And so Thompson, the short man, is down at the 30-yard line. Well, Country Music's biggest night. Amazing performances by all your favorite stars. Brad Paisley and Carrie Underwood will host the CMA Awards live Wednesday, Nashville. Right, Herbie? November 9th at 8, 7 Central on ABC, and I'm sure you'll be there.
I will be there, more than likely. If I'm not asleep. It's late. Kenny Chesney, your guy, will be performing there.
Is he going to perform?
He sure is.
Looking forward to that. Here comes Hoover down. Give me the running back. 1st down and 10. Time down, patient. on that play clock. Klein steps away and takes off to the 34-yard line. Elkins making the stop.
And he takes another hit. You know, it's a good read. He's able to cut back. Again, the instincts there as a ball carrier. You can see he's wincing. This guy's been wincing for 5 weeks. Takes a hit right there. I'm surprised they didn't call that on Broderick Brown.
Second down and 6 for the Wildcats, who trail it by 6. Couldn't find his man open, takes off, and he is stopped short of the first down. Broderick Brown makes the play defensively on the quarterback.
I think that time Colin Klein may have made up his mind what to do with the football. He has this cushion, he thinks. But watch as he continues with his cadence into the call. And watch what Oklahoma State does when the ball is snapped. The ball is snapped, they jump out of that, and now that man is covered because the linebacker safety dropped back there, made him come off of that inside receiver and have to run for it.
Fumble, but he got it back. I don't think that was a real clean exchange, but he stayed right with it, trying to sneak for the first down. At least it looked a little odd, but Klein had it all the way and was battling to try and get that first down, and he got it. Good second effort.
Everything he does is a little bit unorthodox, but is there any other quarterback in the country that you would want on a quarterback sneak than this kid right here?
I agree with you.
This kid he gives you everything. And it's going to take a heroic effort by Colin Klein if these Wildcats are going to get a chance to get back, take the lead and get on the board again.
So first down and 10. And they run Klein behind power this time. And he's got about 9 yards as we go to Robert Flores for an update. Robert? Yeah, Robert, Eric Reed with a great effort of going to the ground. He was beaten by that receiver, and he wrestled it away from him as they went down. That's a terrific effort. But LSU is forced to punt it back to him. Second down and 2 now, inside of 11 minutes here. And Hubert breaks free. He's got the first down to the 42-yard line, and Elkins makes the stop.
And this time Colin Klein reads this off to the left of the defense. The defense is so consumed with him that Nicholas actually locks him up on his own read, and Klein showing that he's still mentally sharp late in this game. Perfect read, and there's the aggressiveness by John Hubert getting upfield in a hurry, shaking some tackles for that first down.
Remember now, they're only down 6 points. 10.5 minutes to go here in regulation. Klein and the Wildcats driving. Play action. And down he goes at the 45. Christian Littlehead from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, makes the play.
Just about to say how well the offensive line has been working here as Kansas State's mixed up their play calling with the run and the pass these last few drives, but this time Oklahoma State was able to get through. It was the play action off the option look, and they were able to fight through that time. And it was good coverage downfield that also gave them more time to get in there.
Second down and 13. Klein checks the sideline. Shovel pass inside, and a beautifully read and designed play for a first down to the 30-yard line. Hubert and the rush was all on the inside, and they break for 15.
Boy, some great blocks by the right side of that offensive line. Offner does a nice job. Good acceleration. He draws the defensive end towards him and Robinson, and then deals it underneath. Perfect execution here by this offense, and of course by the quarterback that time, Colin Klein. Klein
checks that sideline. Ball at the Cowboys' 30-yard line. Follows the 2 lead blockers. Klein crashes to the 27-yard line. Rodgers making the stop. And the number 3 team could be in deep trouble here if the Wildcats can finish.
It's about executing in the red zone. If they get down in that area, they cannot settle for a field goal. And anytime Oklahoma State plays, they always have a disadvantage in the time of possession. But this is big-time advantage tonight, nearly 16 minutes for Oklahoma for Kansas State.
Blood on the left hand. Quarterback not going anyplace. This youngster's a gamer. And it was whistled dead just before the snap.
False start.
Oh, a tough penalty.
This kid's got blood
5-yard penalty. Second down.
both his elbows, on his left hand. I mean, this essentially is a linebacker playing quarterback. He's not a running back playing quarterback. He is a linebacker. How can you not love what Colin Klein brings to the table?
Remember, this team went down into Miami and beat the Hurricanes. That's when everybody started to pay attention to them earlier this year. Second down and 12. Klein checks that sideline again. Lockett's open. Got him. Lockett battling toward that first down marker. And appeared to be shy. Elkins making the stop. Lockett sat down and was all alone there.
Yeah, Brendan, and you know, we get so caught up in the toughness of Klein. Here he shows patience. The linebackers clear out. He just checks it down to Lockett, who's in the open space. You and I can see it from up here. It's another thing to see it back there in that pocket, but it was good patience that time and good awareness by Klein to find him underneath.
Now they come with 2 tight on 3rd and short. And you know how dangerous Klein is when he runs it. You got to hurry now on that play clock. Picks the option, and Hubert's cut off for a loss. And it's a terrific play by Alex Elkins. Elkins stayed right there on the pitch man, and it was not to be. And here comes a huge 4th down.
Brent, I think what he saw, and the reason there was so much communication, is look at all the defenders down in this area. There's some space out here. His big tight end this time, McDonald and Ofter, get off the line of scrimmage freely, but they're not able to account for Elkins. They saw everybody pinching down, anticipating a quarterback sneak, which they did earlier in the game. Nobody was to the outside, and instead of going for the easy first down, they looked for the big play.
A stunner out west. UCLA has beaten Arizona State. Hang on, everybody. What a night.
Blackmon gets the best of Malone in one-on-one coverage, and it's a good throw by Whedon.
Indeed it was, and it'll be for Wheaton. He's thrown for 387 yards. And except for the turnovers, this would be a blowout as Anderson catches that.
Which is ironic because that's what Oklahoma State typically does to their opponent, but tonight they've had to try to overcome that. We'll see if they're able to execute here once they get into Kansas State territory and put points up on the board. Try to give a little cushion here against the Wildcats.
But he said for some reason gets depth. They leave a huge running lane that time for one of the most aggressive and athletic quarterbacks in the Big 12, and Colin Klein picks up the first down.
So it is 1st and 10 for the underdog Wildcats. Klein keeps it again. And he is battered as he crosses the 10-yard line. Klein tonight has thrown for 195 yards, and now he's closing in on rushing for 100.
Red zone success tonight. 4 times they've been inside the 24 scores, including the 3 touchdowns. They've had a lot of success this entire year once they get inside the 10-yard line and getting touchdowns and not settling for field goals.
Strength is to the right. Hubert is there behind Wilson. 2nd down and 7. Klein going to keep it himself. Cuts and short of that first down marker with Lowe making the stop.
Now you see that formation. You know that they're going to run this football to the right. Look at the patience. He waits for it. He picks up a nice little block there. Again, Sean Hubert doesn't get enough credit within this offense. It's one thing to carry the ball. It's another thing to be 5'7" and 185 pounds to be a lead blocker for your bloody-armed quarterback, Colin Klein.
So it is 3rd down and 1 for Klein. motion, Klein, end zone. An extra point away from leading number 3. Stanford, Boise State on full alert right now.
The previous third down on the option, instead of going for the sneak, they ran an option and he pitched it instead of keeping it. This time, the same look exactly from Sean Lewis, and instead of pitching it out where Lewis could make a play on it, he cuts underneath it. The blocks are there, and that is a big-time drive. 14 plays, 70 yards in almost 8.5 minutes.
And here's Cantelli for the lead. And Kansas State regains the lead over a 3-touchdown, if you didn't hear it, UCLA, as time was running out, kicked a field goal, I believe, to beat Arizona State and take command of the Pac-12 South. And again, another short kickoff, and Oklahoma State will have it at 35. Herbie, let's take a look now at this week's BCS standings, brought to you by Allstate.
Of course, LSU and Alabama up at 1 and 2, still 6-6 with. They're in the fourth quarter there. Oklahoma State down 1 here. I mean, this is getting interesting in the top 3. And then you have Stanford, the one big. Boise State just getting started at UNLV. And, you know, Oklahoma wins today, but they lose Ryan Broyles. And now it's Oklahoma State, and it's Brandon Weeden and Justin Blackmon in this offense. See how they answer that touchdown drive by Kansas State.
Empty the backfield. Weeden fires in underneath, complete to Randle, a running back. And he picks up a first down. So Randle with a 10-yard gain. And that ball is going to be spotted at the 46-yard line.
Very impressed with how Brandon Weeden has bounced back from some adversity and turnovers that he has had. He still had a pretty solid night in this game.
Wide open, there's Blackmon. Blackmon dashing for the end zone. Gave one up and got one back. That is Justin Blackmon, just what the coaches told us, a 54-yard touchdown pass, and the best, as Herbie said, the best pass-catch combo in all of college football. And just like that, Weeden and the Cowboys lead it.
And Weeden is looking over to the coaches about going for 2 and where they want to put the ball. Instead of going up by 6, they want to go up by 7 in case Kansas State moves the ball down. They're trying to move it over to the left hash. But how about the throw by Weeden? It's man-to-man coverage. It's been a battle all night between Blackmon and the Kansas State defensive backs. That time he got separation. Weeden found him in one-on-one coverage and made the throw.
460 yards passing for Weeden here tonight. And here they go for 2. He's going to try to throw for it again. Got him all alone. Same man hands it to the referee. How are you going to stop the big fella? Got to feed the big dog, Herbie. I'll tell you what, folks. This K-State team is not done. Come on back. It's been this kind of night. Brandon Weeden, 460 yards. That's a career high and a school record here at Oklahoma State. In front of 58,895, a new stadium record at the recently remodeled BoonePickens Stadium, and a beautiful job they did. Money well spent by Mr. Pickens. And now the kickoff coming K-State's way here. Lockett driven back to the goal line. 15-20, looking for a seam on that left side, and he's at the 40, breaks free. Lockett running for the end zone, tripped up down at the 20. That's, oh my. You talk about a football game that broke out. Charlie Moore saved 6.
Oh, Charlie Moore, what an effort. What a wall that's set up, and a return to the left by the return team. Great job of finding the crease, and that is just flat out speed and finding a seam. You work on it all week. You set it up. You think you know where a weakness is on the return team, and they got exactly what they need, and what an effort there. A shoestring stop there by Moore to stop Lockett. Right, let's go back to the touchdown, and what I think is interesting is the night that Tracy Moore has been able to have right here. He's got 9 catches and 146 yards. He's going to go to the flag. By doing that, the safety is occupied, and it frees up Justin Blackmon in one-on-one coverage right here with the corner who's done a good job, Nigel Malone, but he's one-on-one. I cannot believe there's not a safety, that Zimmerman's not helping out. They leave Blackmon alone one-on-one against Malone, and he makes him pay for it. They decide to go for 2. They put the ball on the left hash because they want to work to the right, and look who they find again. Justin Blackmon one-on-one, and confusion in Kansas State's secondary on the 2-point play.
So Amati shaken up on the play. Dion Amati, one of the safeties here, limping off the field, and he needs a little bit of assistance. And here is the Whedon-Blackmon combination tonight. 12 catches, 196 yards, averaging 16 yards a catch, 2 touchdowns. Also fumbled into the end zone once, remember, and Whedon has thrown a couple of interceptions along with his record-setting night. So here we go now. Klein and the Wildcats, they are down 7. After the 2-point conversion, Klein keeps it, dances free, and he is brought down at the 15-yard line, picking up 5 on first down. Low with the stop.
What a great job of instinctively feeling the linebacker. Levy gets through there. He's able to shake him off, and that's where the lower body, the strength in his legs is able to come into play. Colin Klein is a load to bring down. 6'5", about 225 pounds. He's not going to beat you with quickness. He's going to beat you with speed and power.
4 minutes remaining. Alabama and LSU go to overtime. They are tied in a field goal duel. Here, a much more wide open game, and K-State trailing it by 7, trying to get this one into overtime with 3:45.
You wonder how much gas Colin Klein has left. He now has 25 carries on the night, 28 pass attempts. He has been the offense, running and throwing. He's got to do it all. See what he comes up with here on 3rd down.
So dangerous as a runner. They got 2 downs to make this. He'll keep it on 3rd. He's got the first, breaks free, end zone, touchdown. They're an extra point away from a tie.
Out, just great vision and a great feel. He just has a firm grasp of what Bill Snyder wants. As much as Brandon Whedon understands Mike Gundy and Todd Monken, it's the same thing with Colin Klein. It's a different style offense, but he has such great patience when it comes to running that option and that isolation play for the quarterback when he's able to cut back.
The kickoff return by Lockett. And now we're deadlocked at 45 on Contelli's extra point. But let's go back to Lockett. He set it up. Then the 3 plays after that, Klein kept it for 20 yards. This, the last one.
Somebody get him some oxygen. Look at the vision here, Brent. Cuts it back to the left. He is 6'5", 225 pounds, and he's that elusive. A little jump cut here by the big fella. And again, these linebackers, you try to take a good angle. You try to be aggressive. The problem is he's elusive at 6'5", and he's able to cut back against you if you overcommit.
A 90-point night here in Stillwater. There are the numbers passing, but look at what he added rushing. 4 total touchdowns and only that 1 interception. And as far as the Gamer of the Week award, I'll tell you, forget about it. This youngster has been a delight to watch here tonight with a team that came in about a 3-touchdown underdog against a number 3 team in the nation. And you know, the one thing that Coach Gundy was a little bit concerned about is stay focused, stay focused. We're not yet number 2. You got to take care of business in the Big 12. You got to beat Kansas State first. That's step number 1. Well, we shall see if they can do that as Gilbert now breaks to a seam, and he's out to the 35-yard line at 3:11. And can the defense stop Blackmon? We shall find out. Bears and the Eagles. Monday night countdown at 7, and then it'll be the big bet, Bears and the Eagles. Are they back? 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We shall find out. That's your Monday nighter. right now with the game on the line. And how big was that two-point conversion that Oklahoma State went for? Now 3-11. And let's see if Wheaton can strike again. Back middle. Got it. Complete. Throws it now to Anderson. Isaiah Anderson, the speed merchant out of Wichita Falls, Texas. And suddenly, the Cowboys are threatening again after the 34-yard gain.
Interesting that time. Remember, Blackmon just had a big play. That time, the safety took Blackmon out. They had double coverage, and Wheaton went to the other side for a huge play.
Wheaton back again. Here's Blackmon. Got it one-on-one. Shoves the DB aside. Why, he's so strong. Puts out one of those mitts and says, nice to meet you, Mr. Malone.
Talk about the importance of that upper body strength for a wide receiver and why guys need to be hitting the weights. Justin Blackmon's a guy that doesn't waste much time in a weight room, and it pays off for him on the field.
Just like that, Wheaton's threatening again. Incomplete. Good coverage that time by the Wildcats.
Remember, they did not pick up that first down, so it'll be 3rd and 1. And this almost has a feel. Who's going to be the last man standing here?
I said last night, while you were in Tuscaloosa to our guys, George Hill and Scott here, I said, it's going to be kind of nice to take a deep breath and just have a kind of an easy-going game. Holy Toledo, look what we've got here.
Every week we get these games.
2:22 now, Herbie. 3rd down and 1. And they got it. Randle breaks free. End zone. Oklahoma State regains the lead. Joseph Randle breaks in. But there's a lot of time for the Never Quit kids from Manhattan. That's a 23-yard touchdown run. I'm betting they keep this kickoff away from you-know-who. And that, of course, is Mr. Tyler Lockett after this extra point. Here's Quinn Sharp. Seven-point lead again.
Randle has good quickness, but he's tough. The formation with Randle on this side, here's Brown in the middle, here's the other outside linebacker. Look at this huge hole right here, and that's where they're able to attack. There's just, they don't have the angles to be able to come there. And then Zimmerman, the safety's in position to be able to at least stop him. He already had the first down. Zimmerman's right there to make a play, but this gives you an idea. Look how quick. Look at that little shake right there. Been talking all night about Klein. How about the running of Joseph Randle in the open field?
So now Kansas State will set the kickoff return, and Oklahoma State will figure out how they keep Tyler Lockett from breaking free. Tyler Lockett has already returned 2 touchdowns, two kickoffs for touchdowns this season. Returned the last one, he almost broke number 3, didn't he, folks? We're down at the 20-yard line. And I got to tell you, I'm kicking this one on the ground, Herbie, or pooching it. Number 16. If I'm Oklahoma State, I'm not giving him a whiff. He's from just down the road, folks. And that's right, down in Tulsa. They're probably saying, how come we couldn't recruit a Lockett? Here we go. Alabama missed a field goal in overtime. LSU can win it with a field goal. There's that short kick. Will not be Lockett. And the return man is down. That was Thompson, who went down about the 29-yard line. Wow, stay tuned for the Ford wrap-up coming up right after tonight's game. You're going to want to hear the details of what went on around the country today. Absolutely amazing. And LSU has won it. No, hold on now. Hold on. They're saying he's out of bounds. They're saying he's out of bounds. I can't watch them both at the same time.
We're doing a heck of a job of it, though, my friend. We are
42 is tightrope walking the sideline.
Michael Ford. Here we go.
Stepped out of bounds. LSU with a 1st and goal there. And here's Klein. Comes back with a screen to Hubert. And Hubert is out to the 39-yard line.
Love the call on 1st and 10. Remember, this is a different style offense. Kansas State's down to 1 timeout. They don't have the ability to spread you out with 4 or 5 receivers. We got an Oklahoma State Cowboy down. So like Lewis.
Yeah, that's a big loss now.
Sean Lewis, but I love the call here on 1st and 10. A little screen, try to get a little momentum created, but only one timeout. So first downs in the boundary are Colin Klein's best friend on this drive.
Herbie, this is one of their better defensive players out of Missouri City, Texas, and he's just a big-time defensive player.
The things that we talked about for Kansas State, the margin of error is very slight. They had to have things go their way when it comes to return yards, and you could see the advantage. The turnovers, Oklahoma State's had 4 turnovers. They came into this game #1 in the nation in turnover margin. We talked about the importance of Kansas State winning their field position. It's been a slight edge for Oklahoma State. Trying to prevent Oklahoma State of the big plays. They've done a pretty good job, and here lately they've given up some plays. And then third down conversions, they're converting at 50% against Oklahoma State. That's pretty good. So it's the little things that add up, and a little bit of Colin Klein magic, and they're in this game.
52-45, and here's Klein. Takes off, and he's short of the first down.
Remember, the clock is going, and Colin Klein at least stepped up into the pocket to give them here a 3rd and short, but the clock starts to work against Kansas State.
Bassett and Jones make that stop. 3rd and 1 now. First down will stop the clock. K-State with only one timeout left. They got to convert this one. Klein rides the running back. First down, and the clock will momentarily stop. They'll move the chains now. 7-point lead at 1:21.
And he was reading Jamie Blatnick, and it took a little bit of time there at the mesh point, but he made the right read. I think the defense anticipating Klein keeping it, but he gives it to Hubert.
Klein batted away. On 1st and 10, James Thomas, the senior, bats it away, and it'll be 2nd and 10 at the 1:13 mark.
Klein goes for just a quick throw. Thomas right there gets up in the air. You can see that Ofter tries to get to him, but by the time he does, he's already gone up in the air and knocked that down. He read the quarterback's eyes. He saw that he wanted to go with the quick throw, got up in the air and timed it perfectly.
Here is Klein, back, takes off, running for the first down, and he will step out of bounds at the 40-yard line and stop the clock at the 1:05 mark.
Zach Craig on the backside came on a blitz, number 23. He decides Phil Young's going to put pressure from the backside, and they try to catch him off guard. There's the field. Nice block again by Hubert. And then look at the running lane to the outside here for Colin Klein. He picks up huge yards and gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Yeah, 19 more yards rushing. Herbie's run for 137. He's got 105. He's got one timeout. He's in Oklahoma State territory. Fires short of the first down. Clock's got to run. Ball's in bounds. That's Thompson. They got to hurry now. They're inside of a minute.
And with only one timeout, Bill Snyder's got to hold on to that timeout.
They need a touchdown now and an extra point to get this into overtime. 44 seconds. Klein. Quick strike, got the first down. Receiver gets down to hold on. It's incomplete. Umpire waves it off. That was Travis Tannehill. Couldn't quite hang on to one in the middle. Klein thought he had him.
And the most important thing for Kansas State is the clock stops. So the urgency slows down. It's not always about the downs here in this hurry up. It's about trying to manage that clock. Even though it's an incompletion, they didn't get that first down. The clock stops, and now they can set up for a play that they feel pretty good about here on 3rd down.
LSU setting up for a game winner from 25 yards. They nail it. LSU goes to Tuscaloosa and beats a Crimson Tide. Here Klein fires, and Tannehill waved off. Tannehill had a crack at it, but he couldn't hang on.
Boy, what an effort here. He looks like it.
He just couldn't hold it.
Yeah, and the ball clearly touches the ground. He tries to bring it in, but it sets up this 4th down. They have the one timeout. We'll keep an eye on the play clock here to see if there's any confusion in the huddle to force them to use this.
They need the 4 yards. They must have the first down. They've got a half minute. They've got one timeout. Klein will try to run for it. He's got the first down.
Now you hurry up. You save the timeout. There's
Do
no
you spike it, or do you keep going quickly?
The spike. Well, with the clock being stopped, it allows you to be able to call play, but they're going to spike it here just to get the clock stopped. 27 seconds.
And he puts it right down. Coach Snyder all over that with 25 seconds to go now. So let's set the scene here. Those of you who just watched LSU upset Alabama in Tuscaloosa in a battle of field goals, if you come over here, the number 3 team in the nation, Oklahoma State, now almost a certainty to climb to number 2 if they can win this game. They're only up by 7, and Klein and the Wildcats are trying to get it to overtime. Stanford already a big winner over Oregon State and Corvallis. Second down and 10 for Klein. Klein is back. In trouble. Throws it away. And it will be third down. The pressure was coming from Thomas. Number 22 was all over him. James Thomas.
Well, and this time James Thomas does a good job of getting around John Hubert. He's outside here. Hubert's been picking up these blitzes all night. This time he gets around him with that great athletic ability. But how about Colin Klein? He got it outside of that pocket area and threw it downfield and avoided any kind of potential penalty of intentional grounding. But good athletic ability there by the senior Thomas to get pressure on Colin Klein.
Third down and 10. Final 19 seconds. Kansas State down 7. Klein gonna fire to the corner. Caught out of bounds. That was Chris Harper working the sideline to the 5-yard line. Clock stops with 12 to go. What a grab.
He rolls to his right. He's going to the backside the whole way to the former Oregon quarterback who transferred to Kansas State a couple years ago. Harper with outstanding hands and extension to make that catch.
Now, Oklahoma State. There you can see the confrontation with Bill Snyder. He's told the official when he wants a timeout. He's got one timeout to go if they can't get this in. Klein back to throw for it. Looks, fade, end zone, knocked away beautifully in the corner, and that was Martin. Martin went after Lockett and knocked it away, and we're down to the last 5 seconds of regulation.
Outstanding throw. He puts it where Lockett has a shot at it. He actually gets away from Martin in one-on-one coverage, but Martin recovers with the ball floating a little bit in the air, and Bill Snyder's going to use his final timeout with 5 seconds to go in this game.
So it has been a wild night here in Stillwater and all across the country. And Herbie, of course, the big story is underdog LSU goes into Tuscaloosa, and they stop the Crimson Tide in the battle of the two defenses. LSU wins it in overtime with a field goal.
And it's going to come down to the final play of the game. It's interesting. Bill Snyder, just to put this in perspective for fans that are watching tonight, Colin Klein is one of the more dynamic quarterbacks in the country. He has meant everything tonight for Kansas State, running and throwing. They're going to put the ball in his hands here and give him the option of either running this ball into the end zone or throwing it if he can find a man. But he's been very elusive and tough to deal with for the Cowboys.
So it's the final 5 seconds. Klein checks over to the sideline to see what Coach Snyder and the staff want to come up with. Klein fires in zone. Knocked away. With 1 second left on the clock. Ball is knocked away, incomplete by Broderick Brown. The little corner from Houston, Texas.
What a play by Brown. Interesting call. What an effort. Again by Harper. Brown knocks it away, but they decide with the ball in the left hash, let's take a quick shot, throw the ball out there to Harper, hope that we still have a little bit of time for that next play, and now you'd expect to see Klein again with this chance to make a play with his feet or with his arm.
Needs 7. Last play of regulation coming up. Klein rolls to the right. Fires high and incomplete, and Oklahoma State will survive a scare. 52-45, one of the guttiest performances we've seen by quarterback Klein and the Kansas State Wildcats, coached by Bill Snyder. Unlike a week ago at home, tonight they went out guns blazing. But in the end, the number 3 team survives. And they know that up next is that road trip to Lubbock. Then it's Ames, Iowa. Then it's back here for Bedlam against Oklahoma. Nothing's going to come easy in the battle for the BCS championship game. LSU a winner. They still have to deal with Arkansas and Baton Rouge. Stanford has to play Oregon next week. Checking down below with Lisa Salters.
Thanks, Brent. Mike, how would you describe that fourth quarter?
Well, you know, it's college football's March Madness every week, you know, and it's just a great effort from our team. And I got to give credit to Kansas State. What a great effort from them, and both teams kept firing back. So it's just a great college football game.
That final play, what did you think was coming? What was your defensive call?
Well, we just wanted to get in our base, what we thought was best, and what we feel like we're good at and we've had the most reps at. And I couldn't even see it from there. I just had to listen to the crowd. Well, I couldn't see once he threw the ball, I couldn't see it. I just had to listen to the crowd.
Everyone in the building knew that Klein was going to have to be the guy coming down the stretch. What was so challenging about slowing him down?
Well, he's very athletic, and, you know, you got to be able to stop the run, and when he's running the ball, they have an extra man, so it's difficult to stop the run.
Now, are you curious about that other game?
No, what was the score?
9-6, I believe. Would you like to know who won?
Who won?
LSU won.
There you go, all right.
You didn't know for real?
Now, I'm not so sure they shouldn't have been watching our game. There you go.
More offense. Where do you think you'll be in the standings on Monday?
Well, I'm guessing that we'll probably move up, but ultimately, you know, it doesn't matter till the very end.
Coach, thanks a lot. Congratulations.
All right, thank you very much. And you could see that Kansas State bonding together, walks off as one. And meanwhile, the alma mater here with a veteran quarterback, Brandon Wheaton. And they had some scare here tonight. If you weren't with us, they put up a quick 14. And then they stumbled and fumbled and turned it over 4 times, and they had to come from behind. Take another look here, Herbie, at the last play of the game.
Well, they tried to motion Harper and get 3 receivers to the right, and honestly, Brent, they're panicking here at the end. I mean, there's a lot of confusion. Klein rolls to his right. 2 of the receivers run the same route. I think the receivers were not on the same page. I think he was anticipating either Lockett or Thompson to go to the flag in the corner. Neither one of them did. A little bit of confusion, and Klein really had nothing to do with the football other than just try to throw it up and see if somebody might make a play. So one of the only plays we saw all night where we didn't see Kansas State execute their offense. And Colin Klein, I may have a new favorite player in college football. This kid left everything out of the field. It was a great effort by the Wildcats.
So there you have it. Another great night of college football. Arizona State loses in the Rose Bowl to UCLA at the buzzer. LSU goes to Tuscaloosa and wins. Oklahoma State survives 52-45. We thank you so much for watching Saturday Night Football. Now we take you to the studio for the Ford wrap-up with Robert Flores. Flores, you've got some night to talk about, my friend.